Today on The Joy of Editing, it's the TK Magic Mixer. Now, we can make black and white conversions with the Magic Mixer, but we can also work with color. We're going to look at color today, and we'll explore some more with black and white. Stay tuned. Hello, everyone, and welcome to The Joy of Editing with Dave Kelly. Today, it's the TK Magic Mixer. I want to introduce you to working with color with the Magic Mixer, and we'll also explore a little bit of black and white today too. I have a lot more Magic Mixer videos planned for you, so be on the lookout for those in the upcoming weeks ahead. Before we dive into color, I wanted to show you something about the Magic Mixer panel. Now you can see you can move it around up here. You can also dock it over in Photoshop, but I wanted to show you something. You can resize this panel. For instance, if I come down to the corner, you notice how I can drag it out like this. And that way, when you're adjusting the different sliders here, you get a lot more fine-tuning there. So I just wanted to show that to you, just in case you didn't know that. You can readjust its size. I'm going to put it back over here next to my TK9 combo panel, right there, Magic Mixer. And now let's jump into some color. By the way, if you don't yet have the TK Magic Mixer, it's only $10, and right now it's 25% off up until April 30th, 2024. Now, you got to use the promo code MAGIC25. I'll have links in the description below for you. It'll take you over to Tony Kuiper's web store. Grab your TK Magic Mixer. You're going to love it. It's a great investment, and right now you get 25% off with the promo code MAGIC25. Let's check out the Magic Mixer on a color image. Now, I have this really cool abstract image of an eye. It's a painting, and it's very colorful. So let's see what the Magic Mixer can do with color. And I thought this would be a good image to start out with. Let's come over to the Magic Mixer panel. Now, what we need to do to add a Magic Mixer is click the plus, or you could click the randomize button. I'm going to click the plus, and you'll notice I have a black and white image, but I don't want a black and white image. Now, here's something to remember. The last time you've used your Magic Mixer, if you used it for a black and white conversion, you will have this checkbox right here, LUM, standing for luminosity, unchecked. So whenever you click the plus or click the randomize button, you'll get a black and white image. But all you need to do is check this LUM box right here, and now we're working in color. And you'll notice if I shut off the Magic Mixer layer, the image stays the same. It's unaltered, so that's important. So we start out with the image unaltered, and now we can have some fun with it. If you'll notice across the top of the Magic Mixer panel, see these buttons right here? Right in the center, you'll find this button. This is the randomizer button. And this is the one that I would recommend that you start with. Before I click it, let me tell you what's going to happen. When you click this button, the luminosity values, that would be the lightness or the darkness of the different colors, will change. In other words, like certain colors will get lighter, certain colors will get darker. So let me go ahead and click this button once. You notice how some of the colors got lighter, some got darker. I'll click it again. And you notice the changes. And the idea of the randomizer is to keep clicking till you find something you like. Like, that's very interesting. Now, here's something else you can do. See the contrast adjustment down here? Tony likes to call this the randomizer enhancer. So if I take this slider and I start to drag it to the right, what's happening is these sliders are getting further apart from each other. And now when I click through here, you'll see more of a change as I go through here. You see that? So if you want more of a change in the adjustment, pull up in the contrast. If you want less, just take it off. Now, by the way, you can reset either the brightness or the contrast sliders by just right-clicking anywhere in the slider field. If you want your image to be a little bit darker, take the brightness slider and drag it to the left. If you want it to go a little bit lighter, you could drag it to the right. So you can adjust the brightness as well as the contrast. So I'm going to right-click on the brightness and set it back to where it was in the center at 100. Now, this is the channel mixer, and this is the Magic Mixer, and these adjustment sliders represent these sliders here. And whatever I do to these sliders will do the same thing. So in other words, watch these sliders when I click the randomize button. You'll notice the top slider is 67, this top slider is 67, the middle slider is 15, so is this. This slider is 18 and this bottom slider is 18. Now these look different, and what I mean is these are red, green, and blue, where you notice these are cyan red, magenta green, and yellow blue. This makes more sense to me. You could set it up that they match by clicking the hamburger menu and checking on use channel mixer sliders, and now they're red, green, and blue. But to me, I don't like this because the channel mixer sliders are red, green, and blue, and they don't make much sense. So to help make sense of this, click on the hamburger menu and uncheck use channel mixer sliders. You know that if I shift this slider to the right, I'll make my red colors lighter. If I shift it to the left, the reds will get darker, the cyans will get lighter. The same with magenta green. If I drag this to the right, my greens get lighter. If I drag it to the left, greens get darker, magentas get lighter. And the same with yellow and blue. If I drag this to the right, the blues get lighter, the yellows get darker. So it makes a lot more sense. So I would recommend that you would use it this way. But if you're more used to working with the channel mixer with red, green, and blue, then you could change it to accommodate that as well. You can also work with these color channels. Like if I click on red, you'll see what happens. If I click on green, if I click on blue, if I click on cyan, magenta, or yellow. So you can work with these buttons. Or again, you can work with a randomizer, whichever way you like to work. I actually work with channels as well as a randomizer, just till I get an idea of what I like. Now I like the way this looks right here. So here's my next step. Then I would come here and say, what would happen if I make my reds a little bit darker? So if I drag this slider to the left, see how the reds get darker as I go? And I just use this to fine tune. Now, if I move this slider to the right, anything that is green will get a little bit lighter. Whenever I shift any one of these sliders, all the other sliders are getting shifted as well. And that's the magic of the Magic Mixer. It keeps you from getting the channel mixer all out of whack. And if you've ever used a channel mixer before, you know it's really, really hard to use. But this makes it really easy and magical to use, so I really like that. Now, I want to make my yellows a little bit lighter. I'm going to drag this to the left, but watch the other sliders. They will also move a little bit. And that, again, is the magic of the Magic Mixer. So I'm going to drag this to the left a little bit. See how my yellows got a little lighter, but you'll notice these sliders shifted as well. Now, say I like it right here, but I don't have to be done here. I can do some more fine-tuning, and let me show you. You see this button right here? Here's a little tip. Hold down your Option or Alt key and slide over any one of the buttons, and you'll get information. This is for modifying color luminosity. I'm going to click X here for now. I'm going to click this and watch what happens. I get a color loom layer underneath the Magic Mixer layer. So that means I can work with these colors, red, yellow, green, cyan, blue, and magenta. Let's say now I want to just slightly lighten up my red, so I can start to move this to the right a little bit, or I could darken them even more. And you know what? I do want to darken them a little bit more. Now I can lighten my yellows up a little bit more right here, just fine tune a little bit, and work with greens or blues. Maybe I'll darken my blues up a little bit, maybe to right there. Now let's take a look at the before and after. Hold your Alt or Option key down and click on the background layer eyeball. There's the before. Option or Alt, click on the eye again. Here's the after. So I really like the change. And also if you have the TK9 plugin for Photoshop, you can click your before after button on either the combo or CX panel to see the before and after. Now when working with a color image, the Magic Mixer can help you to redefine how the light values of your colors are working on your image and maybe take you into a different direction, one that you may have not thought possible. Now you could use this at the end of an edit or at the beginning of an edit. You know, really you could use it anywhere that you want. Let's try the Magic Mixer on this image just to see if we can redefine it. So let's come to the Magic Mixer. Let's start out by clicking the randomize button. Okay, that's one click. Here's another click. Here's another click. Let's go ahead and pull up on the contrast, and we'll get more of an effect when we click on the randomize button. So let's click it again. Okay, we'll click it again. We'll click it again. Click it again. I'm continuing to click just so I find something that I really like. Now that's getting more like it. Now let's also go here and click on the color channels just to see what they can give us. Here's red. I like that. Here's green. Here's blue. Here's cyan. Here's magenta. You don't know what you're going to get until you click on them. I do like magenta, and here is yellow. Now, I really like yellow a lot. Let me shut this layer off. By the way, you can click the eye on the layer, or you could click this eye right here to see a before and after. So there is a before and here's an after. And I really like that. And now at this point, we could fine tune. For instance, if our blues are getting too dark, we can drag this yellow slider a little bit to the right. See that? And we can lighten up those blues a little bit, and maybe right about there. And now we could come and click on this button for color loom, and now we can tweak all the colors up here. So now let's go ahead here, and what happens if I make my yellows a little bit lighter, maybe like that, and I don't know, there might be some green in here. Yeah, see, I can make my greens a little darker to add a little bit more contrast. And let's play with cyan. Do we want to lighten cyan or darken it? Maybe I'll darken cyan just a little wee bit. And again, I just use this for fine tuning. Let's work on the blues, maybe right about there, and see if there's any magenta in here. Not really much in the way of magenta. I'm going to Option Alt click. Here is my before and here is after. And I really like these results. We've gone into a new direction and I like it. Now, you see this button right here? This is a live clipping button. If you click it, you can see if you have any clipping in your image. For instance, let me go ahead and turn up the brightness and show you what happens here. See all that red in there? That means you're clipping your highlights. Or if I take this brightness slider and drag it to the left, you'll notice the blue. That means you're clipping your shadows. I'll right-click on the brightness slider and reset brightness. After I've made my Magic Mixer adjustments, I always like to turn on my live clipping, and then if I'm getting any clipping, red for highlights, blue for shadows, I can work with my sliders or my brightness and contrast just to get rid of the clipping. But it's a good way of finding out if you have clipping, and it helps you to get rid of that clipping. And then again, to shut live clipping off, just click that button again. I have one more example for you. This time I'm going to work with black and white. So let's click the plus button on the Magic Mixer. And now we still have a color image, so I need to uncheck Loom. So let me click this box and uncheck it. And now we have a black and white image. Already that is really interesting. The gray leaf on the gray background, it kind of all blends in. So that's kind of fun, and I do like that. But let's go ahead and click the randomizer button and see what kind of results we get. There's one. Kind of nice. Here's another one, all black leaf. Let's try it again. A lot of texture comes out in the leaf there. I do like that. Let's try another one. Let's keep going. Okay, I kind of like it darker. Some texture again. And let's keep going here. Now, let's go with this more high contrast look. So let me go ahead. I know this leaf is green, so if I take this magenta green slider and drag it to the left, see how I can darken up that leaf? That's pretty cool, like somewhere right around there. Now let's see what happens if I bring up the brightness a little bit. So now that background is getting lighter, but the leaf is getting lighter as well, but I do like the increased contrast. Let me pull back on the green magenta slider to the left a little bit more and maybe go with something like that right there. A nice high contrast look. Now let me click on the live clipping button. And I'm getting a slight amount of clipping. You see the little bit of red in there. So what I may do is just take the brightness slider and just drag it to the left just a little bit, just till that clipping goes away right there. And I really like it. So let's click on this eye here. Here is the before. And now let me click this button again. Here is the after. And I like it. Now to get this live clipping layer to go away, just click on the live clipping button and it goes away. So there you go. A really nice high contrast black and white. I'll have more TK Magic Mixer videos coming your way. One in particular that I want to do is a black and white conversion with the Magic Mixer and then further editing that image with the TK9 plugin for Photoshop. You definitely don't want to miss that one. Well, there it is, everyone. I hope you enjoyed the Magic Mixer tutorial today. And don't forget, it is on sale till the end of April. You'll save 25% off when you use the promo code MAGIC25. If you enjoyed today's tutorial, please give it a like and share it with your friends. And if you're not yet a subscriber to my channel, please subscribe. Click that bell notification icon. Click all so that you'll receive all notifications. And then every time I upload a new tutorial, you'll get notified about it. I want to thank each and every one of you for joining me today in the Joy of Editing with Dave Kelly. I'll see you all right here next time. But until then, Happy editing.